It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. You can email us as well at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. Well, we're just a little over a week away from the 4th of July. 4th of July is on a Thursday, which means nothing's getting done next Wednesday, nothing's getting done next Thursday, nothing's getting done next Friday. So enjoy your summer vacation. But something that we always have to be, to use a Gavinism, mindful about.
That is something we are mindful of.
When we get around 4th of July is the very LA experience of a bunch of jackasses blowing up illegal fireworks because we like things that go boom. Yeah, I've turned into an old crank on this subject and I'm sick of it. Maybe it's because I have lived in the San Fernando Valley for too long, where it seems like between Memorial Day and Labor Day, there are just random days where everyone is shooting off illegal fireworks all over the place. Those are mostly the unsanctioned one, but I live around the corner from a high school. Graduation day, fireworks. Holidays, fireworks. Random football game, fireworks. I'm sick of it. But you know what? I'll give a pass to the legal fireworks shows. At least there's some kind of notice for those, and there's a reason for them. I'm not going to kowfowl on anybody for going to celebrate a big fireworks show, whether you go to Disneyland or you're going to Santa Barbara or any of the big shows that happen, except for Long Beach because they forgot to file the paperwork. But the illegal fireworks I have had an ass full of. I'm done with it. It is driving me crazy. And yes, this is mostly because I have a little dog and it makes her sad. But congratulations to the Gardena PD. They had a historic bust of illegal fireworks. We rarely hear about enforcement of this thing that is blatantly illegal, but they did it. They busted 75 tons of the booms. Let's hear what happened from KTLA.
It's being called the largest single fireworks bust in California history. Police in Gardena successfully seizing more than 75 tons of illegal fireworks at a commercial warehouse.
KTLA 5's Karine Winter live now in Gardena with the details. Karine?
Glenn, Gardena police said earlier that this is all part of ongoing efforts to protect the community. This was a massive seizure that went down last Friday.
75 tons!
As families across the Southland prepare for spectacular July 4th fireworks celebrations. Local law.
I've become such an old crank on fireworks. I actually like the drone shows they're doing now at Dodger Stadium.
Law enforcement agencies like Gardena Police are working to ensure the community celebrates safely. That means cracking down on illegal fireworks possession. Those efforts led to a massive seizure from a commercial warehouse. More than 75 tons of fireworks rounded up, the largest explosives bust in the state's history.
This investigation is a crucial part of our comprehensive fireworks enforcement plan, and it was directed by our police chief, Mike Safel. The objective of our fireworks plan is to improve the quality of life for the residents in the city of Gardena, namely our seniors, our veterans, and our pets.
Hey, look at this. Gardena PD looking out for the little puppies and kitties. Actually, I don't know. My cat freaks out about me stepping on the floor. I don't know if she even notices fireworks because she freaks out about everything else. But yes, looking out for the puppies. There are a lot of puppies. There are a lot of dogs out here. They don't like the fireworks.
How did officials spot the goods? Last Friday, detectives with the Special Investigations Unit were conducting fireworks enforcement with the festive holiday quickly approaching. The sale of illegal fireworks have become a booming business each year.
And they're usually done on things like Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to say it. I don't think it's controversial. No legitimate business has ever been done on Facebook Marketplace. It's either a front to sell things you're not supposed to sell, places to sell stolen goods, or places to get scammed or robbed. Nobody has ever bought and sold anything legitimately on Facebook Marketplace, and I dare you to prove me wrong.
Their work led them to this facility along the 17th.
I should know. I tried to sell a rowing machine on Facebook Marketplace. Every single message I got was as shady as you can imagine. I did not get one real offer. And that was a nice rowing machine that I hardly ever used, that my wife will continue to make fun of me to this day for buying it. But you know what? We all had to have that pandemic purchase, didn't we?
Their work led them.
My wife decided she was getting into gardening, and I decided I was going to get into rowing. Here we are 4 years later. We don't do any of those things.
Their work led them to this facility along the 17,000 block of Vermont Avenue. You could see investigators hauling out dozens of boxes of fireworks. They arrested several individuals for possession of explosives and various weapons charges.
That's the thing. Even though fireworks, schmireworks, it's not that big a deal, chances are if people are trafficking in that much illegal fireworks, they're probably trafficking in other things as well.
Residents relieved these dangerous items are off the streets.
We live next to Long Beach, so they have to ship that stuff in. So they're going to find local areas to do that. Tons is a lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
Gardena Police has a zero-tolerance approach to enforcing fireworks laws. That means you may want to think twice about handling or selling these illegal items.
Well, most jurisdictions have a zero-tolerance approach to this, but most of them don't have the resources or time to enforce it. Good on Gardena for being able to do it. I know that when I lived in Burbank, and one time we hosted a 4th of July party, and my stoner buddy, Adam Macadocious, decided to bring some fireworks that were definitely not legal to the party. And we're like, can you at least go in the alley? And I got to tell you, when you light off illegal fireworks in Burbank, the Burbank Police Department with flashlights will be in your backyard in minutes, and then they'll bust on you for having the fire pit that you're not supposed to have.
That means you may want to think twice about handling or selling these illegal items. Police also encouraging the public to report anyone in possession of these explosives that each year, when mishandled, lead to so many serious injuries and even deaths.
I mean, think about what happened in Oakland.
Oh my God, they melted the basketball court.
Although I think that one was on purpose.
So several arrests in this case that is still being investigated, but the LA County District Attorney's Office will determine the final charges here. That's a latest.
Well, that part of the story is not great. But the thing is, it's not just that they're an annoyance, and it's not just that the fireworks are a real irritant to anybody that has dogs, to the point where I do not stay in Los Angeles for 4th of July. That is a rule. We travel. We have to travel because anywhere else isn't as loud as being in the San Fernando Valley. So I don't want to be in my home on 4th of July. I don't want to be in my home on New Year's. And it's a real shame about 4th of July, too, because I've got a neighbor 10 doors down that always throws a pool party on 4th of July, and his pool is fantastic, and I could walk there, which means I could stumble home from there. But no, can't do it. Too much booms in the San Fernando Valley. I got to get out of Dodge. But again, it's not just the irritant of it. It's not just that they're loud, and it's not just that people do that all over the place. If you live in the valley, every direction, someone in your neighborhood is going boom, boom, boom. It's that they're a massive fire risk, and we just happen to be in the beginning of fire season. For that, we've got an incredible report from NBC4's Joel Grover. All of us here are turning into firework cranks.
And so we begin tonight at 6 with those illegal fireworks popping up all across Southern California. In some parts of L.A., it's now a regular occurrence. And as the I-Team's Joel Grover has found, illegal fireworks are causing hundreds of fires every year in the city of L.A. alone. Joel.
That's almost as many as homeless encampments.
Joel joins us now to explain how they could put you in danger. Joel.
Well, Colleen, you've no doubt heard those explosions at night in your neighborhood. Loud bangs.
I guess Colleen lives in the valley.
Well, Colleen, you've no doubt heard those explosions at night in your neighborhood. Loud bangs caused by someone shooting off illegal fireworks. It's a problem that seems to get a lot worse in the months just before the 4th of July. And it's not just a nuisance for you and your pets. The I-Team found this is causing a lot of fires. A group of young men set off rounds of illegal fireworks on a side street in front of several commercial buildings. These businesses...
Oh, yeah, that's the other new thing. The teens who like to do all the illegal things because Gascon won't go after them, they like to shoot off fireworks in front of people, like those jackasses on e-bikes that did it in Hermosa.
These businesses tell the I-Team this has been happening every weekend. These illegal fireworks could cause a house nearby to catch on fire.
It's already happened.
Dave Matthews is a community...
Not that Dave Matthews. It's a different Dave Matthews. It's actually a pretty common name.
Dave Matthews is a community advocate for the Harbor Gateway area of LA.
We could have a massive explosion here.
One night last year, one of these illegal fireworks strayed into the residential neighborhood a block away, landing on the roof of a house.
One resident lost a bedroom because of the fireworks from here. So we know that it's a problem that can get even worse.
Our viewers tell us
that person had to go to a hotel.
Our viewers tell us it's happening all over LA. One viewer sent us these videos from Brentwood, which she says show teenage boys shooting off illegal fireworks every week at a dog park.
You know, at some point we're going to have to do the topic. It won't be today, but at some point we got to do the topic. Are teenage boys bigger a-holes now than when they were when you were a kid? Or is it just that we've got cameras?
Scaring.
I think it might be both. I feel like the kids have gotten worse.
Scaring.
I was a teenager. I didn't know any kids this dumb.
Scaring pets and people. The I-Team obtained data on fires caused by illegal fireworks in the city of LA for the 2 months leading up to the 4th of July during the last 3 years. It reveals there have been about 100 of these fires each year in just the 2 months leading up to the 4th.
Think about the job that the LAFD has to do. They got to put out fires started by fireworks. They got to put out fires started by propane tanks in homeless encampments. They got to put out fires started by grenades in homeless encampments. Oh, if we have time, we'll do that story.
In just the 2 months leading up to the 4th. No one is more worried about a massive fire than the people who live near where these fireworks have been detonated and the businesses on this street. Some of those fireworks are coming onto your property?
Yeah, you can see the tops of the mortar shells and the leftover powder, that's residue that's created from it.
What's the point of even having a fireworks ban if everyone's getting them? You know, I know you either got to drive, it used to be you got to drive to Fillmore. Now I think you got to drive out of state or you've got to connect. Because any kind of contraband makes its way into Los Angeles. There are plenty of things that are illegal that are very easy to get, fireworks being one of them. What's easier to get in LA, fireworks or cocaine? Ooh, there's a good topic. All right, now we got 2 topics to put in the hopper.
Jacob is a sales manager at Growmore Fertilizer Company. You have a lot of chemicals here that could go up in flames?
Ethanol, acetic acid, potassium nitrate, some of these things have high flammability rates.
Businesses and residents have been calling the sheriff's department when they see or hear the fireworks. But the sheriff's department told the I-Team it received calls about the fireworks at least twice in recent weeks, but the disturbing parties were gone prior to their arrival.
Yeah, it's one of those things where unless you're right there on the scene, good luck catching the people that do it. Because they light it off and then they run away to go see it.
So there have been no arrests.
So good on Gardena for being very proactive and busting this stuff before they get lit off. But that's the thing. And you kind of feel defeatist about it because we've all sat in our homes, especially during the COVID years, where it seemed like everyone's choice to rebel was to launch off as many bombs as they could in their backyard. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can call the police, but they're not going to do anything. What are they going to write a ticket if they can find the person? So you just kind of feel like you're stuck. And then you've got to figure out every way in the world to get your dog to calm down, which we have to get her it's almost like a little armband thing that we put over her head so her ears turn into earmuffs. That's one of my dogs. The other dog, her ears are down. She don't care. She'll sleep through the whole thing. But my Chihuahua, oh boy, she don't like the fireworks. And then I feel bad. She starts shaking.
So there have been no arrests or citations written here.
Because of this being a misdemeanor only and a fine, the incentive for criminals isn't really there to not do it.
And I don't think that's changing anytime soon. I mean, look at all the crimes we don't take seriously. Unfortunately, illegal fireworks is the bottom of the barrel. But again, look what we're talking about here. This can lead to destructive wildfires, which is another thing that contributes to how expensive it is to live here because all the fires lead to all the homeowners insurance policies getting canceled.
Not do it.
Workers and residents in this LA neighborhood say they live on the edge every week, worried there could be a massive fire from the illegal fireworks in this area. I reached out to LA City Councilman Tim McCosker and LA Supervisor Holly Mitchell since the area in our story falls into parts of their districts. Both of them told the I-Team residents should report the use of illegal fireworks in their neighborhoods to the LAPD or the sheriff. But as we said in our story, the cops often show up after the suspects have left the scene.
Yeah, Holly, they're not going to do anything.
Quite frankly.
Or they're not able to do anything.
The councilman's office did tell me there would be increased deployment to respond to these calls, especially leading up to July 4th. Colleen, back to you.
Tim McCosker at least said, yes, we'll increase patrols. But there you go. Fireworks get lit off all over the city all summer long. Yes, it's especially the 4th of July. But if you happen to live in certain neighborhoods, it's more than just the 4th of July, because unless you are unlucky enough to live in Gardena, where you've got a massive 75-ton warehouse of this stuff, most people who deal, whether they're buying or selling illegal fireworks, don't get caught. The booms go off. Sometimes they lead to fires. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a crank on this, but I'm getting sick of it. But I am curious, because I wonder if I do live in the worst part of town for this or not. If you have jackasses that launch fireworks all throughout the night on nights that are not July 4th in your neighborhood, I'd love to hear from you. Maybe we'll get calls on this. Maybe we won't. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Have you turned into a fireworks crank like me? I'm no fun anymore. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Are you sick of boomsticks? Ooh, there, that one rhymes. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Cranky Randy on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC. The 4th of July is approaching, and it seems if you live in places like the middle of the San Fernando Valley, almost every day in between Memorial Day and Labor Day, you're going to hear some jackass in your neighborhood lighting off illegal fireworks because enforcement is minimal, except for the city of Gardena. My question to you at 800-222-KABC, are you hearing fireworks all year long in your neighborhood? Or have you become a fireworks crank like me? 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Dale in Culver City. Dale, hello.
Hey, Randy, you know what? I used to live over in El Camino Village, which is just adjacent to Gardena, and it was like the Wild Wild West. Like that guy says, it would start in about maybe the end of May, and it would just build up till 4th of July, and we would have block parties, close off the whole block. Everybody on the block would be blasting off fireworks, and then it would simmer down. You know, even we would have like Roman candles and having the Wild West shootouts with Roman candles. I wasn't that bad, but the neighbors in some of the adjacent cities, they would be going off till midnight, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. They're still they would go and go and go and go. But yeah, it was crazy over there in Gardena and El Camino Village.
Oh, I can imagine. Dale, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it. You know, I have a distinct memory of the 4th of July, 2021, which is a few months after we adopted our Chihuahua. And I don't know if it was like everyone was getting revenge for COVID or what. Fireworks were going off till past midnight in boring-ass San Fernando Valley. And it's not like there were any legitimate fireworks shows around. The only legitimate ones were like at 9 o'clock at the high school. Every single other one in every other direction was people with big old boomsticks. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Andrew in Garden Grove. Andrew, hello.
Hey there.
Hey.
Yeah, so it's every year this usual suspects in our area that blow off fireworks. I don't see how hard it is to put a patrol out there to bust them. It's like, past 5 years, and it gets worse every year. I have a little dog, too, so that's a frustration. You know, I'm 36, and I'm an old crank as well when it comes to fireworks. It's just crazy. You know, every week so far, in June, it's been going off, and we've called the police. They don't really do much, so I don't know. I just feel like something has to be done, and I could relate to the frustration. So,
Andrew, I feel you, and now I feel good because I'm 38 and I'm a crank on this. You're younger than me on this one.
I didn't even realize that. I thought you were a lot older. Just, you sounded more wise, I guess. But yeah, it's just getting me mad. So hopefully something can be done. I don't like how they advertise the fine as well. I feel like it's been the same for like 20 years. They should just bump it up and, get people a little bit more worried about setting them off.
Yeah, I think we got to have some teeth to this. Andrew, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. That guy's in the demo right there. Yeah, I'm 38. Even though I've been doing this for 17 years. I started as a little pup. We'll keep taking your phone calls on jackasses launching illegal fireworks in your neighborhood all year round. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's The Crank Show on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. We are talking fireworks because I happen to live in a neighborhood where they go off constantly in between Memorial Day and Labor Day. And I bet there are people living here in the Southern California area that have it even worse than me. Even though fireworks are very, very, very illegal in the vast majority of Southern California outside of like Buena Park and Fillmore, they go off all the time. There is seldom enforcement. There was that big bust in Gardena, but for the most part, we just have to sit here and take it. So if this is happening to you all the time, I'd love to hear from you. 800-222-KABC. Let's talk to our buddy Hector in Southgate. Hector, hello.
Thank you, sir. Listen, I'm so sick of it. This is something that happens in Southgate where I live all the time. It doesn't matter. It could be February, March. It could be April. In the middle of the night, at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, M80s, M100s, all year long. It drives you insane. The animals are suffering in this location. The police do nothing. It's crazy. Every year it just gets worse and worse and worse. I'm so sick of it. They need to lock them up. A big fine, and a year in the county jail.
I think that would be some teeth. Right now, it's maybe a ticket if you get caught, and good luck with that. And what's getting even wilder is now they're incorporating illegal fireworks into these street takeovers. How is anyone supposed to get any sleep?
I'm sick of it. And now they're shooting. They shoot them at people, skyrockets. They'll shoot it at you.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the video of the kids on the e-bikes doing that in Hermosa. It's wild out there. Hector, I feel your pain, buddy. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. If you've turned into a crank on fireworks like me, I'd love to hear from you. 800-222-KABC. Phil in Torrance. Phil, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great.
6 years ago, it really started with me. It caught my backyard on fire twice. 3 years ago, it was like a war zone.
Hey, Phil, we're having a hard time hearing you. If you could give us a call back, that would be really great. Give us a call back, Phil, because I really want to hear that call, but there was something going on with this phone. But according to Phil, illegal fireworks have had his backyard catch on fire twice. And considering when these things go on, imagine that happening when you're asleeping. I don't like that one bit. We got to do something about this. I don't know what we do about this. I mean, the police that we have right now are understaffed, and they're busy enough going after guns and going after criminal rings and high-speed chases. But the fireworks things is driving me crazy because people know, especially in these neighborhoods, nothing's going to happen to them. And that's why they launch one after another, after another, after another. And I don't know if I just get more irritated at it or they just get bigger every year. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Frank in Orange County. Frank, hello.
Hey, Randy. I'm just wondering what would happen if they weren't considered illegal fireworks in most cities. I mean, it would be like all-out mayhem. I mean, it's already getting crazy out here in South County. long story short, we're at a friend's house. We heard all this fireworks going off. We're getting ready to leave, and we hear them going off on the next street over. And sheriff's deputies driving by, and one of the neighbors flagged him down and said, "Hey, are you going to do anything about that? They're not supposed to have those. They're going to catch the brush on fire. You know, somebody's landscape's going to catch on fire." And he just said, "Well, if you need something done about it, you need to call it in, because it's not my mandate to stop people from firing off fireworks." So it's pretty disappointing. We've gotten to the point where, you got a sheriff's deputy sitting right there, and he's not even willing to go over and say, "Hey, knock it off."
That's unacceptable. It's that kind of behavior that leads to the people thinking that, well, I can just keep doing this because nothing's going to happen to me. And then it gets worse and worse and louder and more brazen, and they do it every day of the year.
And then you've got a situation, too, where we already have a homeowner's insurance crisis. And then you have all these people calling in, and their houses are catching on fire or whatever. But I bet you the insurance companies would just love to use that as an excuse, either to not write policies or increase the costs. They'll just pass it on to the insured, and we're all going to pay for it. So I think everybody better wake up.
Oh, you're totally right about that. Thanks for the call, Frank. I mean, think about this. If you've got jackasses in your neighborhood launching off M80s all summer long, technically, even if you live in the middle of a place like the San Fernando Valley, you could be considered in a fire zone because you have people that have the potential to start fires constantly. The thing that was shocking from Joel Grover's great report on NBC4, 100 fires are started a year just in the city of Los Angeles. So expand that to the entire Southern California, 20 million people area. That's a lot of fires from a lot of booms. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Bill in Brea. Bill, hello.
Hey, Randy, how you doing? Love your show. Yeah,
Thank you.
A few years back, and I don't get too crazy about this, but a few years back, I was at my brother's house, and while his next door neighbor was launching, I mean, these are mortar rounds, right? These are heavy duty firepower. The police car turned left, came up the street, and everybody kind of got nervous, but the police came up and they says, "Hey guys, look, officially, we need to tell you to kind of put those things away. And so go ahead and, pull them away." He says, "But when we drive off, if you want to keep firing them, that's on you." And so sure enough, the police drove up to the end of the cul-de-sac, made their U-turn, drove away. In fact, they kind of waved to us as they drove on down the street.
Yeah, well, as soon as we leave, just keep going, buddy. We like the booms.
Exactly. One other quick story. Years back when the Yorba Linda fires happened in 2008, I had neighbor kids who were popping off bottle rockets on probably the driest, hottest, windiest day in November. And I went over to them and I said, "Hey, guys, I don't want to be a prude, but it's probably a bad day to be launching those skyrockets." They both looked at me. These are 13-year-olds. They said, "You know what? We were thinking that, but we didn't want to put them away ourselves, so thank you." 5 hours later, the hills behind my house were burning. It wasn't their fault, but it was the fires that came from. Yeah, the fires came from Corona all the way over to Brea.
Sitting my window over my garage with my wife, looking at the hills burning and coming closer and closer to our house. Luckily, we were okay, but yeah, let's put the fireworks away on hot days.
Exactly. Once you live through anything like that, you don't want anybody doing anything that could lead to that kind of disaster again.
All right.
Bill, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Do you have jackasses in your neighborhood that love to launch fireworks all summer long? Not just on the 4th of July, not just on Memorial Day, not just on Labor Day. 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're taking your phone calls, 800-222-KABC, if you've got jackasses lighting fireworks all summer long in your neighborhood. Chuck writes in at randykabc@gmail.com. I can't believe you're just like me and you're fed up with the fireworks 26 weeks out of the year. Christy writes in and says, fireworks in Encino south of the boulevard are insane. Started about 3 weeks ago and will go to the end of July. Sounds like mortar fire. I think it's some wealthy, stupid kids setting off bombs up in the hills. Why is there zero enforcement? You got me. Christy, I live in Lake Balboa, adjacent to Encino. I feel your pain. Let's go to Billy in San Bernardino. Billy, hello.
Yes. You know, when I was a kid, we used to make our own fireworks. And you know what? I saw a kid get burnt really bad doing it. So I've seen accidents. I couldn't go on vacation when I was living in a certain city. I couldn't go on vacation because there'd be like skyrockets all over on the top of my house. And there was maybe 20 or 30 skyrockets on top of my house. My house almost caught on fire one time. But anyway, to make a long story short, I get it. It's fun and all that. But you know what? People that light up fireworks, they better realize that if they catch a house on fire, that homeowner might lose their home. Why? Now with insurance the way it is, you put a claim on a fire at your house by fireworks, you're probably not going to be able to get insured. So what they should do, if you cause a fire due to recklessness like that, you ought to make the kids, parents, put it on their claim instead, or at least half of it. Because you know what? I would be responsible with my kids, doing that kind of stuff. And I've seen a lot of kids, and myself. Don't get me wrong. We were up there. But now that I'm realizing it, now that I'm older, hey, you know what? It's just like if a firework in a kid's hand is almost like a gun, because I've seen some some M80s, kids throwing them, and you know what I mean, skyrockets all over. I saw skyrockets going sideways. Kids doing them sideways at houses just for the heck of it. I mean, come on. I mean, something's got to be done. You cannot light somebody's house on fire due to recklessness, and maybe they might lose their home.
You're totally right, Billy. Thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it. And I do love the spirit of his idea of if your jackass teenager lights someone's house on fire, your homeowner's insurance has to cover it. Love that idea. But you know what would end up happening is insurance companies would drop you if you have teenagers. More of your calls coming up in minutes. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're talking fireworks and the jackasses that launch them all throughout the summer in your neighborhood. 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Barbara in Wilshire Center. Barbara, hello.
Hey, Randy, I love hearing about all your the fruit trees that you're planting. It sounds so refreshing.
Oh my gosh, Barbara, you know what I just found out today? And it is actually, it's insane. Well, I got the trees planted today, and my neighbor who's lived in this neighborhood since it was built in 1957 says, the original owner had plum trees, and then the person that took over the house got rid of them. Who gets rid of plum trees?
Oh my God, that's criminal. I think they're in jail.
Maybe they are, but my backyard had no trees, and it turns out it had 2 plum trees.
But you will make up for all that, and it'll be beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So, I won't say the curse that I say every time I hear a firework, because it would be I'd be getting all of us in trouble on the radio. So I'll just wait till the next firework to say it at home. I live below East Hollywood, east of Hancock Park, west of Silver Lake, in the Wilshire Center area. And we have them all the time. We had them on Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve. They've started already. My dog isn't fond of them. She comes running over to me when she hears one. And I go out and I can never find out where they're coming from. And when I've called the police, they can't really locate the origin of them. When I was living in Echo Park for a little while, I came home from work and my 2 big dogs were in the bedroom closet shaking because they were like the sky was filled. I worked with the city attorney a couple of years ago as a private citizen. I asked for help, and he has these lovely posters that we put up. and it didn't do any good at all. And these people who have fireworks on 4th of July, do they even put up an American flag? No. It's very un-American.
No, all they care about is the explosions. Barbara, we're out of time, but thanks so much for the call, and thanks for thinking of my trees. That's so sweet of you. Hey, real quick before we get out of here, I got a prize for you. Thanks so much for listening to me complain about fireworks for an hour. 790 KABC welcomes New Kids on the Block at the Kia Forum on July 5th. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com, but right now, call in number 9 at 1-888-790-5222. Gets a pair of tickets to the show. That's 1-888-790-5222. Tickets furnished by Live Nation. Good luck dialing. If you ever miss any part of this show, you can get it at KABC.com. Click on podcasts, go to the Apple Podcast app, iHeart, Spotify, search for the News Blitz with Randy Wang. Make sure you subscribe, and then you'll get all our shows, including all of our Friday happy hour shows. Those are the most fun, including last week we did best fried chicken in Southern California, sandwiches, we do it all. Hey, see you tomorrow at 5 for another News Blitz on KABC.